I had 2 marriages before I accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. I believe they were absolved there. But I also don't believe Timothy talks about divorce. I think it talks about having 2 or 3 wives. I've got 1 wife right now, and I don't think I could have 2 or 3 wives and manage a church and do all that and keep my wives managed properly and satisfied properly. No, seriously, think about that. If you've never had a role in a church, trust me on this, it's hard. There's a lot of work to it. So anyway, they voted. I got to get up to preach and be voted on by the church. And one other guy did. And guess who got to be selected to be the pastor of this church? Me. And now, if you'd asked me if I was going to be a preacher, Southern Baptist at that, I'd have just plumb had you locked up because you're crazy. But you see, that's what God wanted me to do. It's not what I wanted to do. I always said I wanted to be Robert. I wanted to have that voice that can sing. That's the gift I wanted. But I didn't have that. He didn't give me that gift. He gave me the gift to preach. The blessings that he has brought into my life. I met my wife a little over 2 years ago, I guess it was. No intentions. God said, put a message out to this person. And I just sent her a happy Easter. And honestly, I had no intentions of dating her, no intentions of... I wanted to move back home, but I didn't plan on moving back home. I love it up here. And one thing led to another, led to another, led to another, led to another. And I got to meet one of the sweetest spirits I've ever met in my life. It was just a beautiful, young spirit that God had planted in this woman.
Who's that?
Yeah, right? and what's been really beautiful is to watch her allow God to grow that spirit. And we decided to get married, and here I am. Now, I've been in church 11 years as a minister of one type or another. I was strong. I walked with Christians every day. You couldn't tell me I was ever going to waver from God. I had it all together until he put me in Croghan, New York. And I don't know a Christian soul up here yet. See, in Kentucky, I had everybody that I ran around with was either sober or a Christian or both. So temptation's not real hard. You know, if I go out to eat with the Smiths, chances are good I'm going to behave. Which I need sometimes. And hopefully the Smiths are going to behave because they're with me. But you see, this is the fellowship that we need with each other to keep each other. That's why I don't mind having a Mennonite on this shoulder and a Nazarene or a Catholic behind me, because they will keep me strong. So I move up here and I marry Julie Leindecker. And I don't know any real Christians up here. I meet a few, but I don't hang out with them. And you know what happened to me? Boy, that world got real comfortable all of a sudden. And I can tell that joke with you now. And you know, it's okay to look over here at that. And it's okay not to go there and do that. And you know what? If you're not real nice to that person, oh well. They weren't nice to you. See, and that's not who I'd become, and I didn't feel good. We're sitting on the couch one night, and she says, "What do you think of this?" "What is this?" "It's a tent." Yeah. Well, I've talked to these people, and they said we can use the property, and we put up a tent church there. Sure. So she bought a tent, and I put it up with the help of some people. And we started out there with, the first couple were big because everybody was curious as to what's going on. And then we got down to 8 or 10. But you know what was really cool was I got connected back with my God. I got connected back with my spiritual walk. See, and it's not about a religion, it's about a relationship. And he didn't walk away from me, I walked away from him. He never turned his back on me, I turned my back on him. Yeah, I was thinking about this before I started, and I remember one night in Evansville, Indiana, I had just left the bar, and I don't know how it happened, but I remember it clear as a bell, and I was a blackout drinker. I'd get home and not have a clue. But I remember clear as a bell, I was heading at about 60 miles an hour for a telephone pole, and something turned the wheel, and I missed the telephone pole by that much and went right straight down the road like I was supposed to. And I remember thinking, that was God. Drunk as I remember thinking, that was God. That was an angel. And he did that for a reason, because I didn't know what it was going to be, but here I am. So we're doing this tent church thing now, and I got Catholics, and I got Methodists, and I got Baptists, and I got Nazarenes, and I got Episcopalians, and I got all kinds of Christians in here fellowshipping. And that's the coolest thing to me in the world. Because see, now when Lynn comes into the store, I know I've got a Christian brother that's in there, and I can talk to him in a Christian manner. When Bruce comes in, and Bruce came in and set me straight the other day, and I want to thank you for that. I do. I want to thank you for what you said. Because see, I get frustrated with this. I get where I want to quit with this. Y'all don't understand pressure, and I'm not complaining. That's me. I don't trust God enough to take care of it. See, and I'm going to be straight up with you. I wish I walked on water, but I don't. I get fearful. I get scared. I get upset. I get angry because I don't have the faith I should have. It's better than it was, but it ain't where I want it to be. And I want to quit sometimes, y'all. I just want to wash my hands up and say, I'm done. This isn't fun anymore. And he told me it's never supposed to be fun. It's just supposed to be worth it. And I'm going to guess that Christ didn't go to the cross for me thinking, geez, this is fun. Right? So me putting up with a little bucking here and there is not anything to worry about. But what I want to end with is this. Next Sunday will be 28 years since I've had a drink or a drug. I had nothing to do with that. The only thing I had to do with that was I quit playing God and let God do his job. I had an old timer tell me one time, you know, the funny part about God is he never comes down to earth and wants to play you, even for a day. But boy, do I want to play him. But I'm going to bring up my aunt. And scared me to death as a kid, boy. A lot of you knew Aunt Nancy. Nancy's there. When she was sick and in her last days, I went up there and I got to make amends to her for some of the things that I'd done. And I got to make amends to my mom too, which was a beautiful thing. I got to tell her I was sorry for the child that I'd become. But I was talking to Aunt Nancy. And like I said, she scared me as a kid. And I said, I told her I was sorry for the things I'd done. And she had a moment of clarity. And she says to me, I said, what can I do to make it right? She says, you better not ever drink again. She said, I spent a lot of years praying for you. And I finally got my prayer answered. And she said, you better not screw it up or I'll come back and hunt you. She scared me again. My point to that story is if you've got a loved one, don't quit praying for them. Please, they need it. If she'd have quit praying for me, I may never have found y'all. I may be dead by now. I may have pulled that trigger. Don't give up on anybody before God can work that miracle. Chris, we ain't giving up on you until God works a miracle on you, brother. I don't care. I'm not giving up on what God can do for you. I'm going to pray, I'm going to pray, I'm going to pray. These names that we're putting down on here for the prison people, I'm going to pray for them. Because there's a miracle in that prison. There's somebody going to come out of there and change somebody else's life. Because of what God has done in my life, my son said to me probably 6 months before I moved down here, and he took a very severe beating. He says to me, Dad, he said, I don't remember a whole lot about that. He said, but if it meant getting to live with you again, I'd take that beating 10 times. And see, that ain't who I used to be. That's all what God did for me. And for that, I'm truly grateful. And for those of you that pray for this ministry, keep praying. Because God's going to do something special in Krogan with y'all. He's going to move mountains. He's going to change lives. There's somebody out there that needs to hear from you. And I hope tonight that God talked to one of you in your hearts. He may not have helped you. He helped me. Because I needed to remember some of the stuff that I used to be and what he's done for me. If you don't have a Bible, let me know because I want to get you one. I got my first one from a hotel. I stole it from Gideon. And Gideon was a King James guy, and I don't like King James. But if you need a Bible, let me know. I'll get it for you. If you don't know Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, if you truly don't have that relationship with Him,